What is up, Coggers? It's Rick. So we've been uploading a lot to the YouTube channel lately, and I thought, hey, while we're in the swing of things, it would behoove us to drop an official update regarding episode 205 and let you guys and girls know what's been going on with it and just what the big damn holdup is. We get a lot of posts to the Facebook page and direct emails about this, so it seems like an official update video that we can just direct people to is a good idea. Also stick around because we're going to get into some of the possibilities of what could happen after Season 2. So yeah, to get down to brass tacks here, the number one reason episode 205 is taking so ungodly long is the majority of the episode takes place on locations and not on the candy counter set. Now that we're working on the final 2 episodes of Season 2, we're having to ramp up the story to its climax, and there's only so much you can do on that candy counter set with the precedents we've set by opening up the ICWXP world and stepping out onto other sets and actual locations. It is tempting at times to strip things way down, back to the way they used to be, just to get on with it, but we set the wheels in motion for a story arc in 201, and we really like to see things we commit to through to the end. And when we all look back in a few years, we don't want the Season 2 finale to be a big disappointment. So I do think it is far more preferable to suffer this wait in the meantime, so that when it's all said and done, we have a very satisfying crescendo to the story arc of Season 2. There's also asking permission and coordinating with the owners of these locations, and that can take some time. But we've been very fortunate in that department, and we've been allowed to shoot in some very exciting places. And a huge thanks to everyone that's been kind enough to welcome us into their places of business and trust us to not burn the place down or leave zombie guts everywhere. A ginormous thanks to Screenlit Armor and the Alamo Draft House, for sure. There's also the fact that some of these scenes have a lot of extras in them, and as I'm sure most of you are probably aware of, we're a microscopic little indie production, so these aren't people we cast through talent agencies and what have you. There are very talented friends that also have a lot of other things going on themselves, and that's also in addition to their day jobs, and it can sometimes mean delaying things for weeks or even months to get everybody into the same room for a film shoot. It can also be extremely difficult to find reliable people willing to put in the time it takes to film stuff like this. We can't really just post on Facebook or Twitter that we're looking for people and do the kind of open casting call thing. We've done that before. You get a lot of no-shows and half-hearted commitments from people who don't really realize that this is not always a wacky thrill ride. It can actually be extremely tedious to film anything, really. One thing we are excited about with the new people helping out is finally being able to deliver more on the zombie side of things. That's something we've always had to kind of skimp on because of budget constraints, but last October something very cool happened, and we were able to expand our undead army a bit. But we need people to stick in those masks, and now we have them. Another thing that seems noteworthy and seems especially relevant here is the whole riffing versus live action debate that seems to come up. We know there are people who tune in primarily for the riffing segments. We know there are people that watch primarily for the live action segments, but thankfully the majority of you seem to enjoy both. Then again, there are days where we seem to get a very mixed bag of feedback on that front. You know, we hear, hey, just riff, forget the host segments or story segments or whatever you're calling them, which is not something we're even remotely interested in doing because of all the time we've put into the puppets and the sets and what we originally set out to do. We also hear, hey, just forget the riffing and do the live action bits as a kind of post-apocalyptic, wacky, Adult Swim-style sitcom. And we don't really want to do that either. It's a really hard balance to strike. We acknowledge that. We are kind of kicking around the idea of going back and doing episodes 105 and 106 someday just to round out the seasons, so both are 6 episodes apiece, and to honestly give ourselves something of a break. Producing episodes in Season 1's formula seems like light and breezy fun by comparison. there is some contention and pressure to just go, you know, it's a riffing show, we don't need all these elaborate effects and story arcs and what have you, but when we stepped away from using that exact same MST3K formula, the show instantly became a much more rewarding endeavor for not only me, but I think all of us. It, of course, became a lot harder in a multitude of ways, but we've never shied away from a challenge, and it also allowed us to step into the ring with other local indie sci-fi shows and feel like a better fit at conventions and other places we can promote ourselves at. And hey, it doubled our fan base pretty much overnight, so no regrets there. But if you do long for the simplicity of the earlier stuff, if you don't really stay up to date on our Facebook posts and our website and stuff like that, this might have slipped past you because we do seem to see a lot of people not realizing this, but episode 206 will be a full-length movie riffing episode, and we are trying to get the rights to riff the HD restored Blu-ray of Star Crash, which is one of those movies that's just God's gift to riffers. If you're not familiar with it, Google it. It's amazing. As far as what's beyond Season 2, we're not sure right now. There's a couple of different scenarios that could play out. Right now, the plan is to do another movie review episode following episode 206. That would be episode 206.5. And would be a really fun epilogue to Season 2. Not sure what movie we'd be reviewing, since it'll probably be quite a ways from now. There's not really any point in picking out one at the moment. It'll probably be whatever cinematic sewage happens to be out at the time. But as far as the live-action bits go, it'll show us the new place the characters are at after what goes down in the finale, and that's something you can probably count on happening. But from there, things do get a little hazy. If our YouTube views just magically take off, and they have been way, way, way up lately, one thing that would be just awesome for pretty much everyone all around would be if we were able to pull in enough YouTube hits so that we made as much or more than we do selling the DVDs, and then all our content could just go direct to YouTube and be free for everybody and accessible 24/7. We are able to monetize our videos, and we do get money from them, but right now we're talking like a couple bucks. But if all of our videos were able to hit like 100,000 views, that would be a huge game changer for us. And you. It would actually be much better than the DVD and VOD situation, because with that model, the episodes just kind of stay locked away on those discs on your shelf or on your hard drives. And it's hard for new people to see what the show's really like just from some clips and whatnot. And something like what we do can be kind of a hard sell for some people. That said, we are eternally grateful to still see ICWXP DVDs and VODs selling well, and we'll certainly keep offering them until we sell out. Another thing that might happen is we go back and do episodes 105 and 106, like I keep saying. We might plow ahead and do Season 3, just as we did Season 2 with shorts and wraparound story segments. Or we might go back to full lengths. That might be a more likely scenario of at least those two. It could adopt that movie review formula as well, and whatever form it takes, it could potentially just all go up on YouTube. There's a lot of options on the table. I am working on a concept for a new show that's currently being called Gray Colored Glasses. That would retain that sort of chatty, sarcastic vibe, but would be a little more dramatic and occasionally serious in tone, but not so much that it feels like some melodramatic CW show or anything like that. But it's still early. It could end up being more goofy than ICWXP. Think a modern Red Dwarf or Guardians of the Galaxy or Brooklyn Nine-Nine meets a sci-fi Walking Dead or Mad Max. Serious situations, silly characters is the way I always describe the model. Wouldn't have any movie riffing in it. As much as we adore movie mockery, there is, of course, a very thick glass ceiling with doing it. If you're just some indie knuckleheads like us, I can't really get into why here, but we definitely banged our head very hard on it in the last year or two. We've grown and learned a lot producing ICWXP, and I definitely think it's time for Agony Wolf Media to make an effort on something a little less derivative and more that we can stamp our name on and completely own from the ground up. That's kind of all ICWXP was ever supposed to be, was just something to kind of do for fun, to get some experience in producing something, and we put it online, and you guys seem to like it, and 7 years later, we're still doing it. We will be shooting sort of a proof of concept teaser with a theme song attached to it following episode 205 for Gray Colored Glasses, and then hopefully an official pitch trailer following episode 206. Now, if Gray Colored Glasses, or whatever it ends up being called, just takes off and really surpasses expectations, it is possible episode 206 will be the final ICWXP episode, at least for a while. But I highly doubt that'd be the very last you'd see or hear of the show. We still have to go finish up the comic series. There's always the possibility of more Let's Riffs. Those are doing very well. So don't despair too much in hearing that. Just know we're all just as anxious to get episode 205 and episode 206 done as you guys are. It drives us just as nuts it not being out there in the world yet. It's just crazy how fast time goes working on a project like this with all these delays and post-production concerns that just take forever and forever for one guy to do. The months really do go by like weeks, I swear. Good news is we only have one more scene to film, and then there's some animation stuff to do. We're very excited because the last chunk of the episode takes place as if it were an old school 16-bit JRPG in the vein of Chrono Trigger or Secret of Mana or Final Fantasy VI. I think Final Legend of Dragon Fantasy VII is a line in there somewhere. That'll probably take some time, to be honest, but it's very rare that a day goes by that at least some aspect of it isn't worked on. So just hang in there a little longer, guys. It simply can't be stated enough how much we appreciate your patience and understanding, and of course for giving us the opportunity to get this far, and with what started as a little ragtag MST3K tribute. It's just bananas to look at the show now and think back to what it used to be like. So that's about it, guys. Thanks for listening. We used to do update videos now and then a few years back, but maybe we'll start doing them again if getting some more insight into what's going on is something you guys all like. Well, enough yammering from me. We've got work to do. In the meantime, keep watching and keep sharing the Let's Riff videos, and we hope to see you soon in the frames of episode 205. Thanks, everybody. Cheers.